Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this week is Steve Brookstien. Steve, it's great to be talking to you. Are you well? Are you keeping good?
Yeah, good. I'm really good. Yes, I am very good. I was just going to let your listeners know how terrible I am with my phone. Just the fact that I have it on silent much too often, and I don't hear it, and I miss calls and I miss yours. So it's good to finally have a chat with you.
It's great to be talking to you. Now, I know everybody knows about the X Factor, but I want to take you back before that, because there was a Steve Brookstien before X Factor, wasn't there?
Yeah. I mean, how far back do you want to go? Do you go back to childhood, or just go back to when I was an estate agent? Or
no, I was thinking more about your sort of singing career and stuff you did back then. Because was that when you were involved in the Four Vandals, or did that come later?
Yeah, well, actually, that was just after. I think that's 97. I did Four Vandals. That all came about because I'd entered this. There was another talent show that ITV was doing, which was a show called The Big Talent Show. It had people like what's her name, Charlotte Church, and it was Jonathan Ross hosted it, and guy from The Sun, Gary Bushell, was the judge.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to the final. I came runner-up, but it happened to be on the night. The final was on the night that, unfortunately, Diana had a car crash. So we didn't get any press. Obviously, understandably, we didn't get any press. But the thing that did come from it was that there was a record producer whose mother had been watching the show. And she said, "Oh, you've got to see this young guy. He's really good." So he checked it out, and he got in touch, and he'd been working with, he'd sold millions of records. He'd worked with Take That. He'd produced a million of love songs and a load of soul tracks, high energy, and all that kind of stuff. And he said, "Look, I love your voice. I want to do a Northern Soul project." That's where his heart was. Would you be interested? So I said, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." But he put it under the name of the Four Vandals, and he didn't tell anybody. And what he did was he pressed up a couple of copies and pretended that he imported it from Philadelphia, and said, "Oh, look, I found this really rare groove by a group from the 60s called the Four Vandals." When in fact there was no Four Vandals. It was me, a white guy from South London, and he managed to. There's my alarm to make sure that I got my alarm just went off to make sure that I didn't miss my phone, my conversation with you. See, look.
Oh, there you go.
This time. So yes. So there you go. So anyway, so that story. So yeah, so he got in touch. I did the song. Some soul fan decided to buy the record off him for about, I think it was like £300, and it got a bit of a buzz, and some people did kind of suspect it may have been not true, and it hit as one of his productions, but it still got a bit of a buzz on it. But then when I entered the X Factor, it all came out, and everyone knew it was me. But by then I'd done like 3 or 4 of the songs, and he's, funny enough, he's just done another one, which is called "Ending Up on a High," which he's pressed 100 copies, which is great. Really good, and he wants to do some more. But no, I love doing the Four Vandals thing. It brings back good memories.
I must admit, the track that I heard, I can't remember what it's called now, but I actually played.
Wrong Side of Town.
That was the one. That was the one. Yes.
Wrong Side of Town. Yeah.
Excellent track, that is. Excellent. I actually played it on a Motown Soul show that I do, and people were going, "Wow, what's that?"
Yeah. It does. It sounds like an old, authentic Northern Soul track. He's got this other one called Big Strong. But what he did was he put the vinyl in. He put loads of talcum powder on it and soaked the label to make it look old, and it kind of just, it looked really, and it had a few scratches on it, but that's the one that he sold for a lot of money. But he had like another dozen copies that he sold as well. And got it out there. But yeah, so but it is pretty rare. I mean, there are a few floating about. I've got a copy, and I'm actually, funny if I'm doing it. I don't know when this. I've got a charity at dinner, and I've got a few that I'm signing a couple for auction for a children's charity. But so yeah, there's some really good things that have come out of it. I've done some soul gigs off the back of it. And,
Excellent.
but it never made me a fortune, but it was good fun.
Now, with the X Factor thing, I mean, I guess everybody knows the story about the stuff with you and Sharon and Louis and Simon and all that sort of thing. But the one thing I'd like to know is it really? Can it really get that bad behind the scenes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, looking back, I mean, I try not to think about it too much, but it was a bad experience. It was. There were some really good things about it. If I focus on just the good elements of it, I can see some good. But generally speaking, there's more negativity from doing the show than positivity. It's so driven, and it's so manipulated, and there was so much. I think Simon's probably more chilled out now because he knows it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
You know, it's going 14, 15 years. At the time I met Max Clifford, Max said to me he'll be happy if it goes 3 to 5 years. However, he did say to me he wanted it to happen in America, and it kind of flopped in America. It lasted a couple of seasons. But there was a lot of negativity around it at the time. So it never, and I was kind of pleased that it never really broke America, because there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't know about, but if they knew, they wouldn't watch it, you know. So
yeah.
So I'm kind of, you know, but it some people say, oh, if it weren't for the X Factor, you wouldn't have got famous. I said, well, you know, fame's a funny thing, you know. It's not something you wish for. It's the price you pay for success. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that comes with doing something you enjoy. I just happen to be a good singer, so I got a bit of fame off it. So, but yeah.
One of the positive things that came out of it, though, was that considering it was the first one that you won, you held the record for 5 years for the greatest number of votes, over 6 million.
Yeah. Again, I mean, it's something you can tell you. I mean, it's still the most number of votes in one night, because what people don't realise is that back in the early days, X Factor was only on the Saturday night. So, in order for Joe, it's Joe McKelvey that beat it, but he had to be over 2 nights. So they had it on the Saturday night, which was the live show, and then they had the vote. But people could vote for the whole weekend to get 6.1 million, where we got 6 million votes in one night, which must have absolutely been amazing.
Yeah.
So in that respect, yeah, it's nice, but those sort of things don't really mean as much to me as like my performance on Smile. For me, the highlights were my performance on X Factor when I did Smile and Have I Told You Lately That I Love You. So where there's a couple of great songs that I love and I did them well. Those are the things that I kind of look back and say, wow. Or performing on Top of the Pops. The chance to perform on Top of the Pops.
Oh, yes.
For me, I did it twice. You know, those are moments in life that you can't really take away.
No.
6 million votes, yeah, it's impressive, and thanks very much everyone that voted. I don't take it for granted, but wow, I got to perform on Top of the Pops. And I'll tell my son. There used to be, he doesn't even know what Top of the Pops is. There used to be a show called Top of the Pops, and I performed on it. Yeah. On it, and I tell you what the really good thing about performing on Top of the Pops that year, when I did, was I managed to meet somebody that I'd met 4 years previously. She didn't really realise 4 years before X Factor, I was involved in a production company, and we signed an artist to a record label in America. But all the record labels wanted to sign her, so we went over to LA, and we were getting smoothed by a company called Elektra, and they took us to see Alanis Morissette in concert. And while we were at Alanis Morissette in concert, we got backstage passes, we saw Garbage, we got band Garbage, obviously. We also saw a load of stars. There's A-listers there. So there's Nicolas Cage, Val Kilmer, and Gwen Stefani. But it just so happens that on X Factor, when I was doing Top of the Pops, Gwen Stefani was on Top of the Pops the same day. I was there. So after the show, I just said, "You don't know this, but I was at an after-show party 4 years ago with you in LA." And obviously, she was like, "Oh, yeah, I was there, blah, blah, blah." And so it kind of just made everything really surreal, that one minute I was just some guy that was writing songs for artists, and the next minute I was doing a show like that with Gwen Stefani. So, yeah, those were the sort of stories and highlights for me, more so than, the actual show itself.
And one of the things that I've got to ask you is you have a very, very soulful voice when you're singing. It doesn't matter what type of music you're singing. You can feel the sort of soul influence. How did that come about? Is that something you were listening to soul music or something like that?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I was brought up on, I say soul, it's just songs and stories that people told with a kind of authenticity. I would say people, because you don't consider Frank Sinatra a soul singer, but you believed him when he told the story. So I think some people like, I'm saying all the way back, it was people like Frank Sinatra, and you've got Elvis Presley, but then on the soul tip, it would have been people like the Ink Spots, Sam Cooke. There was Al Green in the early 70s. I'd be listening to them as I grew up, and then back when I got into the 80s, it was more James Ingram, Jeffrey Osborne, Luther Vandross, also Marvin Gaye back in the day, and the Temptations, and so it became. I moved from, the Elvis and the Frank Sinatra and the Bing Crosby and the Nat King Cole and the crooners. They were always crooners. It was always men that sang songs from the heart. So that's where I kind of got it. And I'd like to sing songs that had nice lyrics or had something that people could really... they could hear the lyric. It sounds really old-fashioned, but I do like to let people hear what I'm singing.
Yeah, getting people to relate to it.
If they can hear the words, they can hear the story, and then because the lyricist of a song is important, and if they can hear the story and the melody, if you hear Hal David and Burt Bacharach and the songs they tell, and the lyric matches the melody, they're the things that make it happen. We're just the instrument that those songs are performed on. But it's lovely. Yeah, I love the work.
So what's happening now? I mean, there was an album, wasn't there? And there was the book that came out as well.
Yeah.
What have you got going on now?
Well, I've done 3 albums. Obviously, the first album was the successful one. That was off the back of X Factor. But it wasn't really, ironically, it was called Heart and Soul, but it didn't really contain much of either. And whereas the album subsequently, 40,000 Things was a precious album to me. But we kind of, making the music is the easy bit. The hard bit is getting through all the PR and the marketing and getting, it's really funny. I'll tell you one thing that was kind of weird was that I had a fantastic album, but I just had a number 1 album, and this was my follow-up album. And you would have thought that people, having had a number 1 album, people would be interested, but because of all the politics with ITV, whereas before I could get onto every show, the only show on ITV that would have me at the time was Loose Women. All the other ones said, no, we're not interested. And I know it came from Max Clifford and Simon Cowell. They just weren't going to have me on the show, even though I'd had the 6 million votes, even though I had the number 1 album and number 1 single. They were just, no, we're not interested. And it was really funny because they said, this was 2005, and they said, their excuse was, we're easing up on X Factor products now. And the very next day that I'd been given that bad news, I turned on the telly and there's Chico promoting his single, Chico Time. And it's like, how on earth? If this is, I'm getting tired. And so you soon realise that your career's over when that happens. So, I wasn't ever going to be looking at doing any ITV again. But it's nice of you to get in touch after 15 years.
It's taken me a while, but we got it.
Where were you?
Listen, the stuff we were talking a little while ago, you've got some new product coming out. You've got some new stuff recorded that is once again on that sort of soulful tip. You've got to send me some, obviously, so that we can put it in with this interview. But
that's great, thanks.
You're also touring, I understand.
No, I say that. I mean, you could say touring. I travel. I go where there's work. I go. So there are a couple of things I've been asked to do in as much as a tour. There's a couple of new shows that are touring in 2019 that I've been asked to do, and also I've been asked to come out to Spain. I've just got back from Malaga. But there's a few more people that are asking me to go abroad. I'd love to do more in Spain, to be honest, and come out and sing out there. So if you've got links, let me know, and I've still got my passport; it's still valid. I'll come over in a few days. But yeah, so yeah, I just do. It's part of the nature of the beast is that you have to work all over the place and. We are planning on moving out of London, so we'll be I'm speaking to more agents about doing more stuff up north of the UK, but I do want to start being able to go abroad, and I've only been to Spain a couple of times, but I should be going there a few more times.
Definitely we'll get you out here. Okay, Steve, well please do send me those tracks, because I want to get them on here.
I'll send you one today. I've got a great mix of this song called "This Love Is Alive." It's written by Alan Glass, who's one of the guys that he does a YouTube clip of him when I did the Big Talent show back in '97, and he's written for huge stars from Aretha Franklin to Al Green, the Stylistics, George Benson. You name it, he's done some fantastic stuff. So he's done this great song called "This Love Is Alive." It's along the lines of an Isley Brothers sort of sound, very soulful. He wrote it with Tommy Blaze, who did who's one of the singers on Strictly Come Dancing. He's a great guy, and they've got this great song. And we've done a new mix of it. Sounds great, and hopefully it's radio friendly. I'll send you it and see what you think. See what people think of it.
Lovely. Okay, mate. Well, thanks for giving me the time.
No, my pleasure. I'm sorry, I'm so rubbish with my mobile phone.
Doesn't matter. We got it together in the end. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, and I look forward to getting that track, and we'll certainly put you in touch with some people over here.
Great stuff. Look forward to it. I hope to come over soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Steve. Take care now.
Cheers, buddy.